hope you've had a great week. Has anyone been able to let someone off the hook this week? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a link up here and you'll be able to watch last week's devotional. Now, Easter's coming up next week, actually. So I thought it'd be great to look at the story of Jesus' death. And it's a sad story, obviously, but we know the ending. The ending's amazing. And this part of the story where Jesus dies is actually very powerful. So we're going to take a look in Matthew chapter 27, verse 45 to 60. And I've brought a few props along to tell this story. So what happened is that during the day, it suddenly went completely dark. Jesus was on the cross and he was crying out, and the people nearby thought, what's he saying? He was saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? And they thought he was thirsty, so they decided they'd give him a drink, and they put some wine vinegar on a sponge. Doesn't look very tasty, does it? They gave that to him, and then there was an earthquake and the temple curtain split into two. Wow. God had made a way between humans and himself. There was no longer anything in between. And just before the temple curtain ripped in two, Jesus breathed his last breath. And the people around said, surely this is the Son of God. And then a man named Joseph went to Pilate and asked if he could take Jesus' body and bury him. And so we'll pop Jesus into the cave, and he buried Jesus in there. Wow, how incredible that Jesus gave his life for us. And he lived his life for us as well. That really inspires me. I want to live my life for Jesus. You know, when I was a kid, we used to wear wristbands and they would say, WWJD, what would Jesus do? So I thought what would be a great idea this week is each day of the week we pick a way that we can live how Jesus would live. On Monday, I thought we could choose family. What would Jesus do around his family? One idea is maybe help mum or dad with the housework. Maybe pick up the toys or the clothes in your room. On Tuesday, what would Jesus do for his friends? How would he look out for his friends? Maybe he'd pray for his friends. Maybe he'd FaceTime his friends. That's what we're doing now we won't call it social distancing, we'll call it physical distancing. Wednesday, what would Jesus do with his finance? Maybe you don't have much money, but maybe you could look at the things that you have. Maybe you could share something with your brother or sister, or maybe you could give something to someone who needs it. A couple of weeks ago, we gave someone some toilet paper. Maybe someone needs something in your neighborhood. On Thursday, what would Jesus do with his fitness? How would he look after his health? So maybe you could do some exercise, or maybe you could help mum or dad do some cooking and make something. On Friday, what would Jesus do for fun? I'm sure he had a lot of fun, and he loves to see us have fun as well. So why don't you write down all the different things that you were able to do this week, thinking about what would Jesus do. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Before we go, I want to pray for you and your parents this week. God, thank you that you loved us so much that you died on the cross for us. Thank you that we have a great example in you, following how you lived your life, how you treated people. Help us to value the things that you value, Jesus. Help us to remember each day, what would Jesus do? I pray that you will strengthen our families this week and give us lots of great ideas to entertain ourselves at home. And we love you, Jesus. Thank you that we know that you love to see us enjoying the lives that you've given us as well, Lord God. We want to live for you. Amen. Before we go, I want to have a look at some of the things that we got up to this week, and maybe it can give your parents an idea of some activities you could do together.